British politician hit out at Meghan's biggest mistake, she following in Princess Diana's footsteps. The release of the Duchess of Sussex's highly anticipated Archetypes podcast has thrust her back into the spotlight once again, and unsurprisingly she's not being cast in a flattering light. Listeners absolutely ripped Meghan Markle's first podcast apart, with critics arguing she came across as completely self-obsessed and didn't even give distinguished guest, and living legend, Serena Williams the room to adequately express herself. According to a conservative British politician, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle's biggest mistake was believing she would become Princess Diana overnight after marrying Prince Harry. During a recent appearance on GB News, via YouTube, former Tory MP David Mellor railed against the Duchess of Sussex's perceived missteps, arguing, "She's turning her life into a soap opera, and she's a soap actress, so why wouldn't she?" It's worth noting, per IMDb, Meghan appeared in a single episode of General Hospital, and her most high-profile role to date was in the legal drama Suits, so she's certainly not primarily known as a soap star. Mellor continued, "Basically, it's a sort of crazy world which she inhabits where she assumes that everyone is totally fascinated by every little detail either of her current life or of her past life and doesn't mind whether it's true or not." The politician was discussing Archetypes at the time, and claimed to have previously been a fan of the Duchess. He soured on her considerably when it became clear Meghan didn't want to roll up her sleeves, as Diana always did, and simply desired a life of luxury instead. Funnily enough, people confirmed that, upon initially announcing her podcast, the former actor shared how its aim was to dissect, explore and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. Although the relatable way Meghan Markle described pregnancy on her podcast should speak to mothers all over the world, there are still plenty of people poised to criticize her for using her voice in the first place. In fact, after the Duchess of Sussex revealed there was a fire in her infant son Archie's nursery during a royal tour of South Africa in 2019, insiders immediately rushed to clarify that there wasn't a blaze at all, per the Daily Mail. Further, David Mellor's comments echo those of biographer Tom Bower, whose explosive, tell-all book, Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, painted Meghan as a ruthless, demanding, and utterly humorless bore. Per Newsweek, Bower bragged to Piers Morgan that he hoped its release hastened the Sussexes' downfall, admitting, "I wouldn't be sad at all because they pose a real threat to the royal family." Ms. Elsa wrote, "Archetypes numero uno feels like a paint-by-numbers exercise in Sussexing, one repetition of a story the world has heard numerous times, Meghan campaigning against that ad, a couple of jabs at the firm and a whole lot of her speaking her truth in her dulcet Californian tones." The journalist referenced the word count from the transcript, saying Meghan was responsible for about 61% of the conversation and Serena Williams, a woman whose achievements include 23 Grand Slam singles titles and who is, in Meghan's words, a trendsetter, trailblazer, businesswoman, mum only hits the 39% mark. She added, "To put it another way, Meghan spoke for approximately 1.5 times more time than the woman who was there to tell her story. We get Meghan, a touch of Harry and some more Meghan with some Serena thrown in here and there. It takes up until the 11-minute mark before we actually hear from the tennis great with Meghan's other half, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex even getting a look in before Serena meaningfully joins the conversation." Serena opened up on how she was evolving away from tennis and hoped to focus on her family and her venture capital firm, Serena Ventures.